weren't at the cup final. You were at Spurs.
Yeah. I was on the back of a motorbike for the first half of the cup final, getting out of Spurs. That was quite cool. With Kenneth Branagh, name drop.
With Kenneth Branagh?
Well, we weren't on the same motorbike, but
we fallen on hard times.
He has, yeah. Bike Branagh's limo bikes.
He's a big Spurs fan, isn't he, Ken Branagh?
He is. I know. Bless him. It was like I'll tell you about it. It's like a self-help group coming out of Tottenham where people are just desperate. Even though you're an ex-Chelsea player, people are desperate to get your take on it. You know, what's going to happen? I don't know.
Let's get into the...
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's the fun bit. Go.
Hello and welcome to Football So What in association with Machine Football. We're going to give you all the talking points from this week's action, myself and lovely, wonderful Charlie Baker.
Hello.
Hello, Charlie. How are you?
Hello, Graeme. Don't say how are you, Graeme. We've already had a chat previous to pressing the record button. So
we have. I know you are.
Let's leave nothing out. We don't fake anything on this podcast. It's honesty only. You were just telling me about being on the back of a motorbike with Ken Branagh, which is much more interesting than football.
Yeah, he's a massive Spurs fan. I was at Spurs yesterday, and I quite often see him. We both get bikes out of Tottenham, and so the guys wait in a certain position, and he was there yesterday, obviously wanted some sort of, wanted an arm around his shoulder, like all of the Spurs fans. And so we had a debrief on the match before we headed off on our separate directions on motorbikes out of Tottenham. So I think he typifies Tottenham fans just desperate for somebody to say it's going to be okay.
Yeah, when he did King Lear about a year ago or 2 years ago, and my friends produced it, and so my family went to the opening night, and Ange was there. Big Ange was at the when he was Spurs manager. He was at the opening night of King Lear.
Oh my word!
That's who we are, mate.
That's classy, isn't it?
Lear on the Heath, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Blinding ourselves.
So so that Tottenham experience and the reality really has sort of sunk in now, I think.
It's real, isn't it?
It is, and it sort of did a couple of weeks ago, but not to the extent. I think because they had that sort of that couple of thousand people marching with the coach up the main road, whatever the main road's called.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like it's set.
White Hart Lane, Graeme.
Oh yes, that's right. It'd be a lane, not a road, wouldn't it?
I don't know if you've watched much football or.
I only played there about 20 times. So obviously we didn't have sat-nav back then, and I wasn't driving the coach, so it was just, are we there yet?
No.
And so that I think was really positive until the second half, when it became obvious that they were playing with so much fear, so much inertia, and individual performances, and you just see it all, sort of all the links between the players sort of fracture. Yeah, as the pressure builds, and then obviously Nottingham Forest were having a field day.
You can see they've got in their minds, one of us needs to get hold of this. Come on, someone stand up and be counted.
Yeah,
actually, that's not what needs to happen in that team, because they've got so many injuries that they are, have no players left.
Yeah.
So it actually needs to be the sum of the parts.
Yeah, you have to work in your units, and so that if you're a defensive unit in that situation, the first thing is, right, we're together. Forget the rest of the team. We're together. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to defend. This is the sort of the distance between us. But again, even just their setup, you couldn't work out before the match whether they were going to play with a back three or a back four.
Yeah.
They warmed up with a back three, and the two wing backs were Porro and Jed Spence, who were working with the midfield. So it was a double bluff because they played with a back four. But I remember saying to John Champion, who's the commentator I work with, and saying they're not in a position to be trying to double bluff the opposition. No, they're sort of double bluffing themselves at this point.
Yeah. You need to be more definite. That's the point, isn't it?
And what are you gaining by putting your team out there in the warm up to try and confuse the opposition when actually all you're doing is confusing yourselves? Archie Gray was one player that really wore his sort of heart on his sleeve in terms of his performance. He was positive. He worked hard. He did his job really well. He's 19. Matches Tell was the other one, probably.
What does Machine Football say about Archie Gray? Do we know Gray?
Well, when we look at the team, if we start with the team and you compare Ange Postecoglou's team, which obviously wasn't a good team, they finished 17th, didn't they, in the league?
They won the Europa League.
They did, but I mean that just masks, I think, the fundamental problems.
But fans would take that all day long.
Yeah, probably.
Fans want trophies,
Yeah, but if you'd said trophy and relegation in the same season,
Ange wouldn't have taken them down. Ange wouldn't.
17th though, and so looking at them, they were much more progressive in their sort of creative passes, their forward passes. They were more on the front foot in terms of trying to sort of be creative under Ange compared to Thomas Frank.
Yeah,
Igor Tudor, I think, is it's basically throw the dice and see where they land at the moment. I think he just doesn't know how to get the best out of that team. Which,
well, as we record this, he'll probably be being sacked when he's
Yeah, and again, I look at that and I think, who are you going to bring in? It's fundamental. It's much more fundamental than the coach at this point. There's a lot of things that are going on that need to be resolved, and it's up to somebody, whether it's Tudor or anyone else who comes in for the final 7 games, to actually just sort the attitude out straight away. Like, really put players in that team that you can see are honest players in how they perform. That they're not gonna feel either too entitled or panic when the pressure hits. So it really is all about the team now. But that transition in the way they've played under Thomas Frank, they became much more pragmatic, much more sort of keep the ball without the penetration, and that shows in the system really clearly. And I just think that they've lost. I always talk about identity. If you go out onto the pitch without an identity, without an understanding of your role in the unit you're in, how that's going to operate, and then how the team's going to play, you're giving yourself a massive challenge, because the opponent will have that and they'll smell it. And that's what Forest did really well yesterday. They've smelt that fear and that weakness, and they exploited it.
Actually, being the away team was probably the benefit yesterday, wasn't it? Because you could just go, right, we're going to shut your fans up, and then we're going to put our foot on your neck. It's like that. I think with the management thing, I think it'll get to a stage where, when someone dies in your family and it sort of becomes close relatives and only, and then you sort of shut the door, and then go, right, we'll deal with this. I think it'll become like that for Spurs. It'll become, right, let's get Glenn Hoddle and Harry Redknapp and Ryan Mason
get any legend in,
and we'll get all the Spurs people in. Let's just be Spurs. We'll sit in our own shit, and
wallow,
do our own grieving,
and
then we'll shut the door, and then we'll come back, either in the Championship. But I spoke to an Oxford United player last week on H&J on Talk Sport, and he was literally like, "We're trying to stay up because we think we're going to be playing at Spurs next season." I mean, that isn't the reason they're trying to stay up.
No, but it's
become a major force in Lincoln City players are thinking, we're going to be playing at Spurs. Spurs are going to come here next season.
I know.
Just looking at that stadium and thinking, that's going to be a Championship stadium.
Yeah.
And I can't see where they get the momentum from. I can't see unless players suddenly get fit, or I mean, you've got a few to come back from bans, haven't you? But haven't they? But I can't see where it's coming from unless someone comes in and absolutely pulls it all together and they move forward.
Yeah. So one, I would throw Kenneth Branagh into the mix.
Yeah,
after yesterday.
He could do Henry V.
He'd be incredible.
Once more into the breach, dear friends. Once more.
Oh my word! I mean, he's an absolute legend. He knows how to put a team together, doesn't he? In terms of, he's an amazing director. He knows how to put on a performance.
Michael McIntyre's Spurs, isn't he?
So you could get him in just to lighten the mood a little bit.
But
in all seriousness, at this stage, that is more valuable than the lifting the spirit and getting the players to believe in something is what's going to be the difference. It's because they're well coached. They're fit to. You're not going to improve their fitness now with 7 games to go. You've got, there's been little glimmers, haven't they? The second half against Liverpool, the home game against Atletico Madrid. Although at that point, when you're that far behind, you can relax because you've sort of lost the game in your head, so you can play with more freedom. they've got to play Leeds, for instance. They've got to play Wolves.
Their running is really, really hard.
Yeah.
It's really Sunderland away.
Yep.
Sunderland are so solid, so
Yep.
strong, really good team, scoring goals.
Brighton, have they got Brighton?
Brighton at home, and then Wolves away. Wolves will probably be down by then.
Mm.
But you know who can probably relegate them?
Chelsea.
You know who it is, Graeme? It's Chelsea, Graeme.
Yeah.
Because it goes Villa away. Villa will be fighting for Champions League.
Yeah.
Leeds at home. Leeds will probably need to win that, and then they'll be safe. So who wants that? And then Chelsea away, and Chelsea could send Spurs down.
Wow.
I mean,
it's
Everton on the last day of the season.
Yeah. Is that at Spurs, the Everton game?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
but they might be down by then.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, the really weird thing is that when you walk, when you go to the stadium, I'm there early for NBC, so
yeah,
you're sort of wandering around, and it's huge. You know, the sort of, it's like, I don't want to compare it with the Death Star, because that sort of sends up other connotations.
You're absolutely right.
But it's huge, and you sort of walk in, and there's all these little roads and tunnels, and you've got the NFL dressing rooms, and you've got everything going on. It's huge. It's like a small city, and then you see it sort of fill up. And actually, yesterday before the game, there was a bit more energy before the match, and I was walking sort of behind the stairs to the gantry, and you've got all the bars and those concourses, and it's full, and you know, everyone's optimistic.
What a place! And
you just sort of think, oh my goodness, it would be a tragedy in many ways if they got relegated.
But quite fun as well. Objectively very funny. I mean, I'm not a Spurs fan, and I work with lots of Spurs fans, and I like Spurs people. You know, I like Spurs as a football club. I like their history. I like the whole thing. But it would be like, this is quite funny now. I can't see them bouncing back up.
No, well, again, it sets a whole nother, creates a whole nother set of problems if they were to get relegated. And I think, look, ultimately, it's not because of just sort of bad luck that you get relegated.
No.
As it isn't just lucky that you win the league. Over a 38 game season, you get what you deserve in that league.
Yeah.
It is a meritocracy in that sense. And like I said, this has been sort of eroding away for quite a long time. So the biggest lesson will be a relegation, because that will mean they have to sort things out. And there would definitely be sort of even some Spurs fans that be saying, it might need to happen in order to reset the club to bounce back at some point with a better structure. But
I think the actual answer is you give it to Robbie Keane, and you say, look, we'll probably go down, Robbie, but we think you can get us out in the Championship.
Yeah,
because Robbie's got Championship experience.
Yeah,
and he's Spurs through and through, isn't he? And he's done a great job at a couple of clubs. And I think then you're rebuilding the club from the bottom down. Maybe Robbie Keane with a Hodl or a Harry Redknapp upstairs. I don't know. But you need to get back to the essence of Spurs.
Exactly. There you go. That sounds like a Christmas ad for a perfume.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
Perfume, the essence of Spurs. When you put it on, it's really nice. But as it
starts stinging,
as the day goes on.
Makes your eyes water.
Come out with a real terrible rash by the evening.
Are you crying? Yeah, it's the essence of Spurs.
You deserve Spursy. Where do you want to go next? Did you see the cup final, Graeme?
I saw the second half of the cup final, but sort of not. I wasn't studying it.
No,
I was watching it from a sort of a, just fleetingly in a way. But
Arteta got the big calls wrong, I think. I mean,
it sounded like it. Tell me what you
got injured in the warm up, but I think the keeper call was ridiculous.
Yeah. So Arrizabalaga made a mistake, didn't he? I didn't see that. I saw the sort of fallout from it. He got under the ball, didn't he, or something?
Under the ball, yeah. I like it. Then I like it when you put your hands up. Then because we saw your elbow patches, Graeme.
Nice, aren't they? Yeah, I've gone old sort of. I've gone
nice.
Val Doonigan on you.
It is a bit like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you know the song, the Pina Colada song.
Give me a little.
Do you like Pina Colada?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
So if you ever need to know how to say Kepa Arrizabalaga, all you have to do is sing Kepa Arrizabalaga.
Brilliant. Do you know, I was thinking Val Doonigan didn't sing that.
I'd like to have heard him singing that. I really like the who we're trying to appeal to with this podcast.
I know,
A
exactly.
Val Dunican reference and the Pina Colada song.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
we've got Radio 1 Extra on the phone. They're interested in
They hear you're down with the young people.
Yeah, that was bad, wasn't it?
Yeah, and so
when your keeper makes a rick like that, and you're in defence, and
Yeah.
you've been working your ass off
Yeah.
the whole game. What do you say to them after the game?
Well, there's what you want to say and what you actually say. They're two different things because there's no point hammering them. I think for me when you go after another player, a teammate, is when they keep making the same mistake over and over again. So once is okay, twice the same sort of mistake, you're getting annoyed with them. The third time you can't have it, and so that should apply all over the pitch. With a goalkeeper, I think you've just got a bit like me saying, "How are you, Charlie?" when we'd already spoken before the
but everyone does
the podcast.
That. I shouldn't have pulled you up on that because everybody does that.
No, but it's that you can't. You've just got to pretend that you haven't seen it, the mistake.
Oh right, yeah, I like that, yeah.
And that, come on, you'll be all right. Come on, you'll have another chance. You'll have a chance to make it up.
Yeah,
just sort of that sort of basic motivation where you're just lying to them because inside you're like, "What have you done? You've just cost us a goal." But I wouldn't. You're also there, but for the grace of God, as a defender, you're one mistake away from the goalkeeper getting you out of trouble.
Yeah.
As a goalkeeper, you've got no one to protect you, and they're so exposed to the atmosphere and the pressure of the game, and it just it does happen, and it's up to then your teammates to get you out of that sort of out of the situation.
Yeah.
Score, get the next goal, protect you. Make sure you're okay over the next 10 minutes. So don't give you a dodgy ball.
Yeah.
2 minutes after you've just let in a goal. Just think sort of percentages a little bit more. But City thoroughly deserved to win, though, didn't they?
Yeah.
In terms of the second half, I saw they looked like prime Manchester City. They were moving the ball well. Cherky, who's sort of rapidly becoming my star sort of player, only 21, isn't he? Still, you can't believe he's 21. I just like the way they played with a lot of pride yesterday, Manchester City, because they don't want to lose that title to Arsenal, and it looks like they're going to. So I think they played as if to say, we're going to show you why we're the best footballing team in the league.
That trophy is important, I think, to Pep Guardiola. He's always won it loads of times, isn't it? I think that Man City side looks like a team in transition, but is really close to being great. I think next season, I can't see anyone beating them to the title next season. If Pep stays.
Yeah, they've got that balance. I think you're right. If Pep stays, I think that's a really good point. I think the balance in the team and the round pegs in the round holes, you can just see the links between the players when they play. They've got a really good balance in the team. Obviously, we've got to talk about Nico O'Reilly, both as an emerging sort of talent and talisman for Manchester City. 8 goals he scored this season. I don't even know
where he plays. He seems to just be everywhere.
Well, it's really funny that you say that because, again, when you look at the machine football side of things and you see
when
his
you say
attributes...
machine football, you need to show us your elbow pads.
When you look at machine football...
You should get those sponsored, those elbow pads.
MF.
Yeah, machine football on the air. That's the merch. We're doing machine football elbow pads.
Quite niche again, quite niche.
I like it though, it's good.
Yeah. I'm going to have to do some market research.
Tell me about the machine football stats on Nico O'Reilly.
So 8 goals, 5 assists. I think it might be 8 goals, 3 assists. Let me have a look. 8 goals, 5 assists. I was right.
Yeah.
But funnily enough, because you've hit the nail on the head with your wonderful eye for the game, is that you don't quite know where he plays because he's a bit of a hybrid. So as a fullback, which he that was his position on paper yesterday.
Yeah,
it's all about his being involved with the ball and moving further forwards and creating, and obviously scoring 8 goals from that. Amazing, from either there or midfield is incredible. But where he hasn't doesn't hit the numbers is defensively. So he's in the bottom 10% of players defensively,
right?
In the Premier League, in that position. Because and again, that's not a problem because they don't defend classically as a lot of teams do. So bottom 10% for ball recoveries and for tackling, and even his creativity in terms of those final third passes isn't his strong point, but he is so effective. That's where the sort of the data insights, you got to sort of put them to one side and say, well, okay, that's all well and good, but he's so effective. The timing of his runs, the way he drifts into midfield, technically, and he's a big lad as well.
Yeah,
He's 6'2", I think, something like that.
Where does Tuchel use him?
Well, he fits into the Tuchel system because Guardiola and Tuchel play this style of football that we would call in machine football an attacking engine, which is a very high, intense, lots of passes, short passes. As you can see, if you think of Thomas Tuchel's teams and Guardiola's team, you can sort of imagine how they play. You can see how they play, and so O'Reilly fits perfectly within that. So I think as long as Thomas Tuchel is using him in a similar way and using a system that is really getting the best out of him and obviously, the other players, then he fits perfectly into that because he can drift into midfield with such sort of comfort. And as long as you've got a bit of cover on him, and obviously Mark Gahey is his partner, they're forming their system fit again in the data is really building strong. So you've got a wonderful little partnership there, and I think at international level, those club partnerships are really important because you've already got that understanding. You're not putting two players together that maybe haven't got that same sort of.
Could he play left back?
Bond.
Is he that talented, Graeme?
I think he'll probably will play left back. I think he, again, if you're playing against a team that are going to maybe push you deeper and require him to be 1v1 all the time, maybe you go for someone that's a bit more of a classic fullback, somebody that's a bit better on the turn, a bit sharper. So, but in most of the games, I think as an outlet, and Tuchel dominates possession. I think in qualification it's 70-odd% average possession. Now you're playing against maybe lesser teams.
Yeah.
But ultimately that's part of his playing style. So if you're dominating possession, you're able to get players like Nico Williams into an advanced position where you create an extra man, and that's so important at international level to unlock.
I think you meant Nico.
Oh, sorry, Nico O'Reilly.
I think Nico Williams is Welsh, so
he is Welsh. I was watching him yesterday.
Quite tough to get him into the England team, but
yeah, exactly. Sorry.
And they might be crossing Wales.
Exactly.
Should we have a quick chat about the England team? Why has he not picked Ollie Watkins? I like Ollie Watkins, and he's from Newton Abbot.
Yeah, I don't know actually. I think there's a couple of omissions there that you think Watkins being one, Trent Alexander-Arnold is another, isn't he?
Yeah.
Graham Lasso definitely. That's a lot of questions about that.
Even you got retired, let's remember, not retired.
Not retired, never retired. No, so Ollie Watkins. Yeah, I'm a bit unsure. You hope that he's talking to the players, and he goes to a lot of games. Thomas Tuchel. He's in the tunnel after the matches, just having little chats with the players when they come out the dressing room after the game's finished. Certainly not at half time, giving them a chat. But he's. I wonder if there's something about that, because this is his final sort of big opportunity to try a few players out, isn't it? So whether he's looking at Ollie Watkins thinking, I know you, I don't need you in this squad, is a tough one. But his form has been a bit sporadic, isn't it, Watkins?
Well, I wonder, you might be right. I mean, if you're Ollie Watkins, maybe he's thinking, right, he's going to try Dominic Calvert-Lewin and see what he's like around the lap, because he's seen Ollie Watkins around, he knows what he offers. But I suppose you're looking for that. Look, Harry Kane's the best striker in Europe, if not the world, and I suppose you're looking for, if he inevitably gets injured, or has to go off, or they need to rest it. They need to rest him, and hopefully, the dream is to rest him in the final group game, I suppose, isn't it? But
and you cannot replace Harry Kane in the sense that, again, his playing profile in our system, it shows that there's 107 strikers that are available for England, and there's only two that sort of fit the same profile as Harry Kane, and one of them's Harry Kane. I've said this before. The other's this lad Ben Morris no one's
ever heard of, and he's in
Detroit.
So I don't really know what that points at, Graeme.
Well, what it points at is that the reality is Ben Morris isn't good enough to play for England, even if he is fit. But it means that you have to change the style of your attack. If Harry Kane comes out to him, you cannot replace him in the sense of replace what he brings to the team. So you have to find a different way of playing. I think that throws up an opportunity because you've got, obviously Welbeck, Calvert-Lewin, Ollie Watkins, you mentioned Solanke, players like that could be a version of a number 9 striker. Yeah. But then
Welbeck.
also you've got all of those.
Welbeck should be in the 35. You've got to look at him
again. You just. I think that Thomas Tuchel's looking at one of those number 10s or a Rashford, a Rodgers, a Palmer type, like false 9 as they call it. Somebody that doesn't play so high up, but they rotate around the sort of that number 10 position and try to break the lines of opponents, because it's really hard to get in behind teams at international level because they tend to sit off a bit deeper. And are obviously very compact. So that's where Ollie Watkins does struggle. He needs space in behind to get on the end of things. If there's no space in behind, he struggles to get himself into positions to create chances. So again, it's really subtle. Was that a buzzer?
It was your buzzer, I think.
Was it? That was strange. It sounded like I thought our time was up then. I stopped mid-sentence.
Bored of talking to you.
Goodbye.
I'm going Pickford, Reece James, Gay, Livramento, O'Reilly, Elliot Anderson, Declan Rice, Gordon on the left, Saka on the right, Bellingham, Kane.
Oh, nice. There's a
whole other 10 other players you could put in that, and no one look out of place. So
no, exactly. And that's the job, obviously, of the manager is to.
Oh, it's not my job.
No, well, it could be if you want. We'll pretend it is. Yeah. So that's your job as the manager, Charlie, is to pick the right team against the right opponent at the right time.
I'd walk it. It's an easy job. I'd absolutely walk it. I'd say I could have lost 6 in a row for Spurs. Easy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Get a £2 million payoff, no problem.
So you've thrown your hat in the ring then for Tottenham, just to round things off, because now we've got about 72 names.
Well, I think you should get those flowers behind you. Put one in your ear, put one in your mouth, and say I want the Spurs job.
Do you know what they are? They are the poppies from outside, the Tower of London when they did the poppies.
Right. Now I feel disrespectful.
Yeah, exactly. Disrespected me and my collection as well as history.
I remember that. I did a gig in the Tower of London, and to be honest, by the end of the gig, the people there wanted me to have my head chopped off.
Hung, drawn and quartered.
Yeah, more or less. Right. And remember to head over to machinefootball.com, the app for everyday footballing intelligence, to view unique footballing insight not seen on any other show. On Wednesday, we'll be dropping a new episode with football journalist Henry Winter. That is a good episode, isn't it, Graeme?
So good.
We had a lot of fun. Henry Winter is coming. Remember to like and subscribe on our YouTube page, and you can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Loads going on Instagram. At football, So What Shows. So spelt like Graham Lasso. Should be a different name, but there we are. We'll discuss that. As well as watching us on YouTube, you can also listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for joining us. And then it says goodbye, Graham.
Oh, thanks for joining us. Goodbye.
Graham Lasso!